This meeting is being recorded.
Anthony Felber, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, it's actually the second time, like your second appearance here on the pod, because you remember when we did the short interview when we were in Flagstaff after Pikes Peak. I did that like a sort of recap of the Pikes Peak Ascent with like all the Golden Tour Series people, which was kind of fun, but it was like only a 5-minute appearance. So now it's a full episode dedicated to you. And yeah, since I mentioned the Golden Trail series, I wanted to start this conversation asking you, what was it like to be roommates for 2 weeks, going on a road trip through Colorado, Utah, and Arizona in the meanwhile, racing twice and basically exchanging position from the first to the second race and running through some of the most amazing landscapes we've ever been to?
Yeah, it was, I think, the most important thing that I will remember for this trip, because as you said, we were roommates like between the races, but also kind of roommates inside the races, and it was really funny to share time, to speak, to laugh all the days, and then during the competition to fight against each other. And you beat me the first time, and I could have my revenge the second time. So it's interesting to see for the next race this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, we did exchange positions. So we basically came home from the US trip with like equal number of points, and then we were pretty much at the same level because like we were racing really, really close. So it was fun. And then of course, it was like 2 weeks of real American madness because we had a lot of fun running, in Moab and Flagstaff and Colorado. I think it's been like some of the best places I've ever run to. So
Yeah, I agree. It was really a wonderful trip, and
yeah,
it was not only doing two small competitions. There was many time of sharing and discovery in Moab, as you said, and also in Flagstaff and
yeah.
in Colorado. So my head is full of memories from this time.
Tell us some of your best memories of this trip, or maybe like the craziest memory and your favorite one.
This is hard because I have too many, but I think the craziest memory it's
I think like going to
the
Goodwill was pretty crazy.
day when uh yeah, it was the
Also, the party was pretty crazy
the party, yeah, of
after
course, but
after
it's a
Pikes Peak.
but yeah, when the first time we went to Pikes Peak Summit, it was kind of it was super windy, and the road was amazing. When we climbed with the car on the road, I was like super excited, and I was feeling like I was kind of dreaming, but no, it was the reality. And this was a good uh, a good moment of discovery from this incredible place.
Yeah. What do you like? How did you feel the altitude during because it was a big factor both in Pikes Peak and in Flagstaff, and some people were more affected by the altitude, and some people seemed to handle it better. What was it for you?
It wasn't too bad for me, I think, the altitude, because during the summer I went for a training camp in altitude in Switzerland, so I was kind of prepared for this.
Yeah.
But I think I was prepared for being in altitude, but not to race in altitude. And it was complicated to run with my legs, because like if they were more heavy than as usual because of
Mhm.
the lack of oxygen. But for the other aspect, like the head or the sensations, I was okay. It was just like I had to accept that my legs were heavier than as usual in the European race, for example.
Yeah, but you feel like you were able to push normally, like as you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I could push, but a bit less because my legs were too heavy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think like, you know, there were quite a few runners from the United States, which were probably more acclimatized than us Europeans. But then like all of us from Europe were pretty much at the same level, maybe except from Remy, who is probably more used than us to live and train in altitude. So we were like all pretty much at the same level. And of course, it was a similar experience for me. Actually,
and it was funny because also there were
yeah,
many runners who went there for the first time.
yeah,
So it was not like only American races expert, and we were all in the same, like, together in the with the same problems, and it was
yeah,
cool to share this.
yeah. What was your favorite place to run during the whole trip?
Mm, my favorite place was after the trip when I went to Mammoth Lakes in California, and I could have spent 1 week there in the Marinos, and it was just amazing because it's also super high in altitude. The city is at 2,700 meters,
Yeah,
and then there was all the Sierra Nevada and the mountains without people, and there was sand and lakes, so it was really amazing. I live a perfect week in this area.
yeah. But isn't it like a more similar landscape as in the Alps? Like it's more similar to the places that we're used to. Well, for example, Moab in the desert is very, very different. So I was really inspired and impressed by Moab because it's something that we obviously don't find in Europe.
Yeah, I totally agree. Moab was super, like, very beautiful and totally different
Yeah,
from what we are used to. But also in the Sierra Nevada, it's not the same because we are super high in altitude, and yet we can find trees that we have here in France, in the coast, in the south, near to the sea. So this create like a contrast between high altitude and the landscapes I'm used to it when I go to the south of the France,
yeah,
like near in the Côte d'Azur in
yeah.
France. So we have
Nice.
like the trees, yeah, exactly, the sand trails, and yet I was above 3,000 meters of elevation, and it was like this for, I can't describe. It was super larger. Wherever I was looking, it was only mountains and rocks and trees and lakes.
Yeah.
So it was very different from the Alps.
A madness place.
Exactly. But I didn't, and there is it's full of bears, but
Wow.
I wasn't lucky, and I didn't see one. I need to come back.
I actually saw one in downtown Manitou Springs, like in
Yeah,
front of
you saw me you showed the video.
yeah, it was like in front of Matt Carpenter's ice cream shop, and it was like, what the heck? This bear is like climbing a fence in a house, like normally, and no one is caring about it. It was pretty
It's like
crazy.
if a cat is going inside a house
Yes,
for us.
exactly. Exactly. But yeah, I agree. One of the things that probably really inspired all of us from Europe about our American experience is like how big the landscapes are, like how much space there is that we don't have, because like in Europe everything is so much smaller, so much closer, and like you travel for 2 hours and you cross like 3 countries, and in the United States that is just not possible. Like you drive for 2 hours and you might cross one village when you are in Arizona or Utah. So that is a big difference, and it's something that yeah, it was
Yeah.
very in tune with my 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 inner self, basically.
I remember when we traveled after the first race to Moab, and we had like 8 hours of car
Yeah,
crossing through Colorado and then Utah. with the madness music for 8 hours, and you were trying to work in the back of the cars. But the landscapes were awesome.
Yeah, I remember I took like a lot of videos across the Rocky Mountains, and then when we were driving through to the desert in Utah, it was really beautiful. Yeah, so there is like a video on my Instagram account about it. Cool. So we should probably mention that the TV series Chasing Dreams about the 2022 Golden Trail series is being published right now. Like last week was the first episode. This week the second episode is coming out. We're actually both featured in it, so I encourage all the listeners to check it out because it's a great project. I love the first episode and I can't wait to watch all the others. I think it's gonna be like 6 episodes, if I'm not wrong.
7. I think it's 7.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it's all each Wednesday.
Yeah.
Until mid-February. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm super excited to discover the other stories of the athletes.
Yeah. So like we talked a lot about the Golden Trail series, which has established itself as one of the biggest circuits and most important references in trail running. What inspires you about it, and what do you think about this circuit and the project overall?
I really like this project. It's actually, this year was my second year on the circuit, and what I like about it is that first of all, the races are the best races in the world for me. It's like only monumental races with the Gamma, Mont Blanc Marathon, Sierre-Zinal, and Pikes Peak. So it's the race that I was dreaming of when I was a bit younger. So this is the most important when you prepare your calendar to races that you want to do. And when you think about it, you're a bit excited because otherwise you can't do all the season without getting bored. And then the level is super hard on each races, so you know that you will fight. And for example, if in the end of the race you choose to go a bit slower, you can lose many ranks in the position. So you need to push until the finish line and then to go and to jump on the finish carpet. So it's always like, you know, that when you go to this race, you will do a good race and you will fight against yourself and against the best world trail runners in the world.
Yeah. I don't think everyone can actually understands how deep the level of competition is in the Golden Trail series. It's like crazy deep in all of the races. Some of the races in particular, like I should probably mention the Gamma and Sierre-Zinal last year, which were crazy. Like you were 18th in the Gamma last year with a time that would have probably put you in the top 5 in most years. So
yeah, exactly.
That is to just give an idea of how crazy the level was. And then, like, I think your 2022 season was really, really good because you took 18th into Gamma, 8th at Mont Blanc, 11th at Sierre-Zinal, and then you went on to 7th at Pikes Peak and 5th place in Flagstaff before finishing 9th place in the final, after the final in Madeira. So I think it was a very successful year for you after, you know, your first experience in the Golden Trail World Series in 2021. I remember seeing a young Anthony Felber, like a rookie in El Hierro and in the stages of the Golden Trail Series in 2021. But like you've established yourself as one of the top competitors in this circuit, which is pretty amazing. So congrats, first of all. And what do you think about your season overall last year?
As you said, I'm super happy of this season because at the beginning I had many works to do with my studies. So the races were good, but not super good. And then the month passed and I felt better and better. So it's really important to Like I think to go in this direction, and when you know that you are stronger than the month before or the last two races, you have more desire for the race, and then you want to run more faster again. And each time I succeed to improve my final rankings in the race. So it was perfect. Like I races a lot this year, and I don't miss one big goal. So this is really important. And more than like the results, I think it's good because I know that I can do a whole season with big goals, and in my head I'm ready to go to each one and to succeed it. So this is important for the next years of my career, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned that last year you were finishing your studies. You studied architecture in Lausanne. Like how's your life right now? How is like your job or like your activity as an architecture combining with your activity as a trail runner?
Well, so I was graduated in July this summer. Then I took 3 months totally off just to run and to go to the trip in the US or in Slovenia with my team, and then in Madeira. And now I lived in Chamonix. So I moved there 2 months ago. And because I have an opportunity to work with an architect that I know in the valley, so I I can, well, I'm like I work as an independent architect, and I help her on some small projects. So I can manage my timetable between my training, the competition, and also the job with her.
Yeah.
So, and living in Chamonix Valley is really amazing because,
Yeah.
for example, this winter I do a lot of ski. I can just take my skis, walk 100 meters, and then go to 2 or 3 hours training.
Yeah.
And after I come back, I just have to take the train, and I go work and I go to the afternoon at the office. So I think I have found a good like
Good
a
balance.
exactly a good balance between work and training.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's key. Like running luckily is a sport that allows you to have some other activities in your life. It's not like cycling, for example, that you might have to train like 5 or 6 hours a day every day. Like with running, it's relatively easier in that sense. So it allows you to have some kind of other things in your life as long as they're flexible enough to, first of all, let you train at the highest level and then let you travel for the races. Because like the main problem of having like a, let's say, normal job is that it's difficult to take time off to travel to the competition. And like if you need to go for 2 weeks in the United States for the Golden Tour Series, it would be pretty much impossible. So the key, I think, is to find an adaptation that allows you to do all of that while having something else in your life, which is also important to have some kind of balance, because not everyone is made to focus 100% of his time and energy on training. And it's not because if you have something else, you're like not devoting like the best of yourself to running. So this is to say that there is different opportunities to be and live like a pro athlete. So
And
we've probably
I think,
found
I think the good thing to work a little outside the training is you are forced to rest because you are working. If I don't have a small job, I think I would be tempted to train the morning and then the afternoon because the playing ground is amazing. And after 1 month, I would be totally destroyed for all the year.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
true.
is like a good way to stay focused and to do good training and then to rest between them.
Yeah, that's key. So we've also talked about training. Talk a little bit how your training is structured and how is your work with your current coach, Simon Gosselin?
So as you said, my coach is Simon Gosselin. He's the coach for all the athletes of the Team Sidas Matryx. And this year we wanted to change a bit from last year. And so I moved to Chamonix, and here it's quite impossible to run all the year. And I decided to do like a full winter of skimo training.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a big competition season, but just to spend times in the mountains and the ski to develop more strengths for the summer. So I think 80% of my training right now, it's only ski mountaineering. Long, easy day inside into the mountains, like for 3, 4, or 5 hours, and some intensity and intervals as we can do when we run, but with the ski. So it's really interesting because I'm not used with this kind of effort, and I think it will help me a lot for next summer. And so we really I'm skiing, I think 5 times a week, and it's really cool.
Nice. And the rest of the days is running. You run on the treadmill inside, or do you do?
No. For now, when I went for a run, I went outside because in here there are some like trails where the people are walking for hike, and then you can run easily. And for now, there was not many snow in the valley, so it was okay to run. Since yesterday, it's more like a real winter, and right now it's snowing. I think I have like 30 centimeters of snow inside my garden. So maybe I won't run outside, and I will go to run into a treadmill. But I also have a bike in my house, so if the weather is too bad because of the storm or the wind or the cold, I can do also training on the bike.
Yeah, nice. I was talking to Jim Walmsley yesterday, and he made a similar decision as to like spend a lot of time on skis during the winter. Of course, he's moved to Beaufort in the French Alps to train for UTMB. It was probably inspired by Francois Dayan and Kilian in this decision. But we see a lot of trail runners that have this kind of balance between the winter and the summer season. And in the winter, they spend a lot of time on the skis. They might compete. Some of them might be really good ski mountaineers, skimo athletes. And then in the summer, they just transition to the trails and have as well a very successful trail season. So it's definitely possible. It's just a different approach.
I think it's really good because if you can do a lot of elevation gain during the winter, when you start the summer season, like it's a bit complicated because you didn't run a lot, but your body know how to go up, and it's easier to run when just with your shoes when you are running than with all the ski and the stuff you need to carry. So it's a good way to improve his strength. But now the level has increased in the trail running, so I think you can't spend all the winter without running. You need to keep 1 or 2 run each week.
That's true. And actually, if you spy on, for example, Kilian or Remy's Strava, you can actually see that they might put 2 or 3 runs per week, even if they're like Remy is competing in the Skimo World Cup, but it's still running a little bit. And maybe 2 or 3 years ago, he would have completely stopped running over the winter time. So that is probably a sign that he still needs to maintain some kind of running base throughout the winter to make sure he is competitive from the very start of the season in trail running.
Exactly, it's important, like you just
Yeah.
to get used to run and with this you can start the season like quite soon with the gamma, for example,
Yes.
and you don't like your body can do a race because your heart is prepared because of the ski, but your legs are still used to run.
Yeah. So have you already made your racing calendar for 2023? And if so, can you share any details about it?
Well, it's a bit complicated this year. Normally, I like to fix my calendar in December before
Yeah.
the last year, and because I like when I know where I will go. But this year, I want to try to go to the World Championships in Austria,
Nice.
and there is a race in France for the selection. This race hopefully is quite soon, but still late in the season. It's in middle of March, and until this race, I can't know for sure that I will go because the criteria are a bit hard to achieve.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I go to championship, but I know for sure that the main goal will be the OCC in August during the UTMB week and
Okay.
the Sierre-Zinal 2 weeks before.
Okay. Nice.
After I will adapt if I return to the US or if I will go to Mont Blanc Marathon to have the 3 races for the Golden Trail Series, which will be not the
Okay.
main goal of the season, but the second one after the OCC.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's still possible to combine those two goals because like with a circuit like Golden Trail, like it's very difficult to stay in top shape for like 4 months, like from when the first race is to the final, for example. So I think it's better to like choose a goal like OCC or Sierre-Zinal or World Championship or whatever, and then still compete in the other races, but without maybe expecting to be at your 100%. So that is probably like an approach that I will use as well. I would love to get into a UTMB race, either OCC or CCC this year, to increase a little bit the distance. Regarding the World Champs, for example, I'm not sure I will compete in the short trail distance because I feel like having done the race in Thailand and having placed second, like doing another one so close to that,
yeah,
it's not like the most interesting to me. It would be a bit strange, yeah. So I was actually thinking about doing the vertical race if I qualify, because I would have the team spot for the short trail distance, but obviously I would have to qualify like everyone else for the vertical race. But yeah, we will see. And then yeah, compete in the Golden Trail Series because like after all, it's like the biggest, most iconic, most famous, most competitive races. So it's pretty much impossible not to do them.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it's hard to choose which races you want to do. Like last year, I think I did 5 over the 6 races.
Yeah.
And we agree with my coach that it was too much.
Too much.
Because if you want to optimize and then to be in good shape for the race, you need to do 3 or 4 maximum before the final.
Yeah.
But when you are looking at the calendar and you need to choose only 3 races, it's really hard because all of them are different and are super attractive.
True. Yeah. I think you can also choose depending on like the technical difficulties and the features. The distance. It's true that like, for example, Dolomites Run is like half of the distance of Mont Blanc Marathon, for example. It's much more technical, but it's a lot less time on your legs, and it's like relatively easier to recover from a race like Dolomites, for example, compared to Mont Blanc, because it's much shorter. So that also plays a factor in the decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So you've also mentioned that you're part of Team Sidas Matryx, which I've also asked you about last year when we did the podcast about like after Pikes Peak. Can you talk a little bit about this project, if there's anything new in 2023, and like how's your relationship with the team, and like how it's the team structured, and something about it?
I'm lucky because I am part of this incredible adventure since the beginning. So this year it will be my 5th season with the Team Sidas Matryx. At the beginning, it was only the Team Matrix, and then the structure evolved, and other sponsors get interested to join the adventure. And now it has become the Team Sidas Matryx, because Sidas and Matrix are the two main sponsors of the team. And what for the people who doesn't know about it, it's important to say that it's really a team, a sport professional team, and not like a team of a brand.
Yeah.
It's like we can find in cyclism, for example.
Yeah.
Like it's an independent structure which has its own partners, and we, the athletes, we have no links or just a few with the partners. Our job is just to run for the team, and then the team is taking part of all the decisions with the partners and all the thing about it. We have a staff, a medical staff. We have all the best equipment we need to run, and we are very lucky because we can choose the shoes we are running with, and the only condition is that the shoes are built with the Matrix technologies. So, for example, we can use the normal shoes, the Salomon shoes, also Mie shoes, North Face. So it's really like a big opportunity, because we can change, and we can change inside the season. For example, if for one race, which is a bit longer, we want a shoes of this brand, we can, and then for a shortest race, we can choose another brand. And this is, I think, the most like the most important thing we have, and which is really different for the other teams.
Yes, you have like less obligations towards the sponsors. While of course, if you're running for a brand, you have to wear only the apparel and shoes from that brand, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think the model is a little bit like a cycling team, because basically the staff, the direction of your team is taking care of everything that all of you athletes need to train and compete at the highest level. And
yes,
like
they want to give us all the best
Exactly.
things and tools to perform in the competition.
Exactly.
And one other thing that I didn't mention is that we have created a real collective, and during the year we do many team meetings, like for training camps together for 1 week, and also when we go to the competition, we go all together. We also we have the same coach, so sometimes we can share 2, 3, 4 days or a weekend, and we have the same training. So it's really a team also in the off competition period. It's not, we don't see each other only during the competition.
Yeah, and that's important to sort of build a team structure, and team spirit is more than just going to the races together or wearing the same uniform, but there is much more than that. And you can actually see that, for example, from the communication that Team Sidas Matryx does on social media, and for example, you released some YouTube series, so YouTube videos that I encourage everyone to check out, because they're really interesting. You can see those values, and like how the team works, how it's structured, and what's the philosophy behind it from all that, which is a really innovative project in trail running, I think. So I'm hoping that some other teams will look to emulate what Team Sidas Matryx is doing.
Yeah, it will be good, I think, for
for
the
sport. Yeah.
development of the sport and to be more professional for everyone.
Yes. Talk a little bit about your relationship with maybe two of the most famous names in your team, Alice Ponce and Anaïs Sabria.
Okay, so this year I spent many times with Elise Ponce because she was the only one who was running in the trail, the Golden Trail World Series circuits. Sorry. So we spent a lot of time together during the trips, during the races, and she was with us during the American Madness trip, and it was a good not a discovery because I knew her a bit before, but we didn't have the occasion to spend more time together. And this year I could have learned more about her, and she is really an amazing person. We laugh a lot, and I like her spirit because she really takes competition as a game, and she has like not a bad character, but in the case that she won't do something that she doesn't want to do.
Yeah. I
And
can confirm.
in the other direction, that if she wants to do it, like she will do it well because it will make her happy. And I really think this point of view is interesting to think about yourself and to think about what you really want. And when you know what you really want, you obviously you will be stronger.
Yes, you will be more motivated in your
exactly. If you
in your training and the pursuit of your goals, because like training for a race is hard. There is always moments of discomfort, of things that are not going the way that you expect. So you need a strong motivation to stay focused. Another thing that I wanted to ask you related to Team Sidas Matryx and just your overall season last year. So you're 25, I think. At the end of 2022, you might have had the possibility to close a good contract with a brand, because you were definitely among the best in the world in the short distance in trail running. But you decided to stay with Team Sidas Matryx instead, which is a decision that I really respect and I think is important to highlight. What is special about it? What is special about Team Sidas Matryx, and what has made you take this decision?
Well, I think it's not only one or two aspects, it's really the whole things of the team, because it's my 5th year with them.
Yeah.
So now I'm used to the system, and I can see all that they have given to me, because I think without the Team Sidas Matryx, I wouldn't be here right now speaking with you, because I wanted to do like high level like everybody, but I didn't have tools to achieve it. And thanks to Simon, which is now my coach for 3 years, and I improved a lot, and I'm still improving every time during the training. So this is really really good and important for the next, that I know that I still have many years in front of me to be stronger. And I like the more than the team, the Thomas and Simon, which are the two like co-founders of the structure, and they run it. They are like friends for me. It's not only a professional link, and this help a lot, because if we have problem, I say we like all the athletes, we can just talk to them, and then we will find a solution together. It's not like they really want us to be happy and to improve, that we don't have more stress than we can have by ourselves.
Yeah.
And this spirit is really important to the construction of a long career. And so that's why I'm still part of the adventure with the Team Sidas Matryx.
Yeah, I agree. That has a big value that I don't think that everyone maybe understands, but having been able to meet and know Simon and Thomas, they're both really young. Like maybe someone is expecting that the founders of this team are like old people or like in their 40s or 50s, but they're like probably under 30 years old, both of them.
Yeah, they are 27.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing that these two people in their 20s started such a big project, and they're also athletes themselves, maybe not competing at the highest level, like at a level that is as high as the one that you're competing, but for sure they understand the needs of the athletes and they are very close to them. They understand what being an athlete in 2023 means, which is obviously different from what the sport of trail running used to be maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So that is also very important, and it has a big value, I think. So maybe this leads me to another question that is a bit more general, but is always kind of focused on the professionalization of the sport of trail running. What are the current opportunities for a young athlete who wants to become a pro athlete and like train seriously and pick up the sport in a professional way? How do you see the whole situation?
I don't know if I still have enough enough experiences to see the difference between like 10 years ago and now. But for what I could have seen last year is that now there are more small structures, a bit like our team, who were created and who try to attract people which are quite young, I think between 16 and 18 years old.
Yeah.
And now when you when you're these people, you can easily do selection or training camp to try to qualify for these small structures, and then if you can get to it, you will improve for sure. And even if you can't go have access of the structure, knowing that there are many different things, it will help you to train, and you think that it will be possible. If you think about 6 years ago, there were a few brands only who are a real team, and if you were not the best when you had 18 years old, you knew that it would be impossible to join them.
Yeah, exactly.
So this, I think it's a big difference, and it will be more attractive for the youngest.
Yes, because like if I think about 8 or 9 years old when I started trail mountain running seriously, like I would have never imagined to become a pro athlete or to sign a pro contract with Nike, for example, because like there was basically no perspective. Maybe if I could one day become the best in the world, that would be a possibility for me to live from the sport. But since I was nowhere near to be like the best in the world, maybe I could become a good athlete, but not like the top athlete. The possibilities were really limited, but now like the base is growing bigger, and there is way more possibility for more, of course, good athletes, because you still need to run really fast, really strong, and compete and achieve very good results. But it's allowing more people to live from the sport and become pro athletes. We see, for example, like your trajectory, or for example, what Sarah Alonso has done over the past 2 years, and that is a clear example of what I've just said, I think.
Yeah, and the level is increasing, so
yes,
it will help. And like now you need to run, even if you have more opportunities, you need to run faster than before if you want to have one. So this way is a good thing to develop the whole sport.
Yes, it's true. it's not because there are more possibility that it's becoming easier, because the level is increasing. So overall, it's a great thing for the sport, I think. Cool. All right, so we're going towards the end of our conversation. Maybe I wanted to ask you a last couple of questions.
Yeah.
First, maybe some names of an athlete that has inspired you when you started trail running, and right now, if there is anyone in particular that you look up to or inspires you, who would that be?
Well, I won't be very imaginative, but I think for like the most of the people of my age, I was really inspired by Kylian Jornet because uh, at at the beginning I didn't know nothing about the sport, but I heard about him and it was like I was okay. He's real. He looks really interesting, so I decided to get interesting with how he lives and what he does.
Yeah.
So it's like the main people, like my idol when I was a child and still he is now. But for another people is like, I remember the first time when I went to the UTMB. It was I think in 2016 when I started to run, and I was alone. I ran the YCC for the young people, like in the beginning of the week, and then the ceremony podium was after the UTMB. So I went alone to Chamonix and to go to my podium because I think I was third. And I was at the same time that the finish of the race. And it was the year of when Ludovic Pomeroy wins the race. So
Yeah.
the French guy. And I discovered all the the emotion and I was dreaming looking at Ludovic, and then it was Tim Tollefson,
Yeah.
who really marks me because he was like I think the people who were the most happy in the world in the last 100 meters of the race. And when I saw this, I was okay. This is what I want to do for the next years. I want to live like to race fast and to live this kind of feelings at the end of a race.
That's cool. Yeah, I can find myself a lot in what you just said. It's very inspiring. And then maybe my last question. I know that you have a passion for cooking, and food in general. So tell us something about it.
It will be hard to be quick with the food because I don't know if I prefer to eat or to cook. I think it's like
Yeah.
I like to do both, but no, I take it like a whole hobbit and also a part of my training because if you can take the time to prepare some good meals and to have a good alimentation in all the year, it will help you to perform on the races. And I think I really like to discover the things by testing new recipes. For example, I hate doing twice the same or eating twice the same meal. So every time I want to cook something different. So I have many books and I have many recipes in my Instagram account where I can try some new things. And now I like to imagine by myself and to try to do, I don't know, to use a famous recipe and then to add a new ingredients and then a new vegetable. For example, like I'm a fan of beetroot, so I know that I can put beetroot in every meal time, and it's always better with it.
Yeah, I remember. So we'll make sure to include the link of your chef Anthony Felber Instagram account.
I need
Podcast.
to create a top 5 or top 10.
I know. Anthony, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you very soon. There will be many chances to cross paths in 2023, I think. So I wish you a great winter training block in Chamonix, and yeah, see you soon.
Thank you very much for this discussion. And yes, we will see, I think, each other many times this year. So I hope you will train hard because I won't be behind you next year.
I know, I will.
We will be on the top of the podium, both of us.
Hopefully. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.